blow to the liberal model of globalization based on markets, freedom, and competition, which has benefited the Western countries. Parenthesis, we here condemn that model from the word go. It's inherently unworkable, and Putin needs to go further on that kind of a point. However, why did the U.S. do all these things? United States prosperity rests to a large degree on the trust of investors and foreign holders of dollars and securities, U.S. securities. The trust is being undermined, and the signs of disappointment in the fruits of globalization are now visible in many countries. You got the Cyprus precedent, right? Stealing money out of bank accounts. The trend is now towards seeking to bolster economic and financial sovereignty by countries or regional groups to protect themselves from outside pressure. More and more countries are looking for ways to become less dependent on the dollar and are setting up alternative financial and payment systems and reserve currencies. I think our American friends are quite simply cutting the branch that they're sitting on. You cannot mix politics and economics in this way, but that is what they are doing. Politically motivated sanctions are a mistake that will harm everyone. And at the same time, the American colleagues tried to manage these processes using regional conflicts and color revolutions to suit their interests, but the genie is out of the bottle. And specifically on Ukraine, he says, how can you try to move Ukraine into the European Union over a process of months? Russia remains Ukraine's main trading partner. And when you look at Russia, Russia wanted to join the World Trade Organization. Again, I would dissent on the advisability of that. But the Russian accession to the World Trade Organization lasted for 19 years. And it was only in that process that some kind of a consensus was reached. So Yanukovych would have given the West everything they wanted. Why oust him? And Putin says he has asked his negotiating partners, there is no answer. That's it. They're all at a loss. It just turned out that way. There is, in the course of the speech, a detailed recapitulation from Putin's point of view of what happened in Ukraine last February and around the same times. So the Western method is to use these methods. Those who constantly throw together new color revolutions consider themselves brilliant artists and simply cannot stop, right? Maybe that's Newland, although certainly her temperament is anything but artistic. President Obama, he goes on, spoke about the Islamic State as one of the threats, but who helped to arm the people who were fighting Assad in Syria? Who created a favorable political and information climate for them? Who pushed for arms supplies? Are you really not aware of who is fighting there? It is mostly mercenaries fighting there. Are you not aware that they get paid to fight? And they go wherever they get paid the most. So they get weapons and they get paid for fighting. I have heard how much they get paid. Once they're armed and paid for their services, you can't just undo all that. I hope McCain, Walnuts McCain, are you listening? Then they hear that they can get more money elsewhere. And so they go there and they capture oil fields in Iraq and Syria and start producing oil, and others buy this oil. Why are sanctions not imposed on those engaged in such activities? Qatar, I'm adding Qatar, Turkey, Saudi Arabia. Doesn't the United States know who is responsible? Isn't it their own allies who are doing this? Don't they have the power and the opportunity to influence their allies, or do they not want to? But then why are they bombing the Islamic State if they haven't used these other methods? This is pretty much what we've been saying here for some months. Then ISIS started producing oil and were able to pay more, and some of the rebels fighting for the so-called civilized opposition rushed off to join the Islamic State because they pay better. This is very short-sighted and incompetent, has no basis in reality. We have heard that we need to support civilized democratic opposition in Syria, and so they get support and they get weapons. And the next day, half the rebels went off and joined the Islamic State. Was it so hard to foresee that possibility a little bit earlier? We are opposed to this kind of U.S. policy. We believe it is misguided, harmful to everyone, including to you. Bravo, Putin. And concerning Libya, what was the result in Libya? Your ambassador was killed. This is a little bit of shorthand, but the idea is clear. Who's to blame? You blame yourself. Was that a good thing for the United States with your ambassador killed? It was a terrible thing, a terrible tragedy. You should not look for scapegoats if you are the ones who made the mistakes. On the contrary, you need to overcome the desire to always dominate and act on your imperial ambitions. You need to stop poisoning the minds of millions of people with the idea that U.S. policy can only be a policy of imperial ambition. Okay, so those are some of the many highlights of this fascinating thing. There's a lengthy question and answer. There are also interventions that you can hear from Dominique de Villepin, right, our favorite French politician. You remember Dominique de Villepin couldn't get on the ballot because he couldn't get enough signatures from French mayors because the Cheminade people, the LaRouche tentacle in France, had gone out and gotten those signatures from those mayors in advance, and that meant that they were not anymore available for de Villepin. So who benefited from that little caper? Wasn't that something like U.S. intelligence or the CIA? So that was Le Farfelu at the time. And also there was Wolfgang Schüssel of Austria. Back in a minute now on World Crisis Radio.
American gardeners and fellow patriots, make the right choice with your money, time, and your family food supply. Choose 100% pure heirloom seeds in the Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com. Why spend more? The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com is only $37.95 and includes 20 varieties of pure, hardy, easy-to-grow heirloom seeds. Yes, only $37.95. That's 70% less than our competitors. You could buy 3 Survival Seed Vaults for less than one of theirs. The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com includes detailed planting and seed-saving instructions and ships same day. Plus, all orders over $49 ship free. MyPatriotSupply.com is American-owned by patriots like you, passionate about freedom and preparedness. Call now, 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Or discover more emergency preparedness items when you order at MyPatriotSupply.com. Choose the original. Choose the Survival Seed Vault at MyPatriotSupply.com.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3 square meals you'll need in an emergency. So the Freeze Dry Guys 3 square meal unit sale is just the ticket. A variety pack of tasty, nourishing breakfast, lunch, and dinner on sale now. Breakfast is Freeze Dry Guys' favorite. Hot oatmeal and sweet dehydrated bananas. Lunch is Mountain House freeze-dried hot macaroni and cheese and crisp green beans. And dinner is Mountain House long grain wild rice pilaf and hearty beef stew, vegetables, and gravy. Call Freeze Dry Guy and ask for details on the 120 26-serving 3-square meals unit. One case normally $164.37, sale price at only $138.90. Save over $25. Get 2 or 3 cases and save even more. Or ask about Freeze Dry Guy's Fall Chili Special. Always free shipping to the lower 48 states. Call 866-404-3663 or click freezedryguy.com. And hurry, the Fall Chili Special and 3-square meals unit are on sale while supplies last. From the Freeze Dry Guy, the finest freeze-dried and dehydrated foods available for long-term storage, period.
If you need to say happy birthday, happy anniversary, thank you, or simply I'm thinking of you, ProFlowers.com is the key. ProFlowers has stunning bouquets, like the best-selling 100 blooms for $19.99. Plus, ProFlowers will include a glass vase for free. Sending someone a wonderful surprise of beautiful flowers sent fresh from the fields is easy. Choose the bouquet you like, pick the delivery date, and each order is 100% guaranteed. Plus, all bouquets from ProFlowers are guaranteed to last at least 7 full days. Beautiful, fragrant flowers, picked fresh and sent to your loved one for lasting enjoyment. To get this incredible savings and send someone 100 gorgeous blooms with a free vase for $19.99, go to proflowers.com, click the blue microphone in the top right corner, and enter code PLOW. That's proflowers.com. Click the mic and enter code PLOW.
The nation's largest independently owned and operated talk radio network. The Genesis Communications Network. GC.
Welcome back to Crisis Radio. We're now going to start our tour of some of the main struggle situations. And first of all, let's go to New York State, right? The governorship is at stake. And we were, of course, sympathetic to the Credico campaign. We've had Randy Credico on here, but he didn't make it through the Democratic primary. So the question is, what is a New Yorker to do? And I want to make a direct appeal to you to use your vote for the best possible alternative, and that is Howie Hawkins, who is running for governor on the Green Party ticket. And I have to just tell you, I got to know Howie a little bit from afar back in 2010. Very interesting article by Ralph Nader in Counterpunch magazine, August 2010, the previous campaign, when Howie talked about the stock transfer tax. And he was asking already then, why is Cuomo hiding the stock transfer tax from the public, he said, when it was an obvious way to bridge the state budget deficit? Why rule out this kind of a tax, which would make Wall Street pay their fair share? All the politicians in Albany talk like we're out of money and debate over what services to cut, while refusing to tell New Yorkers about the $16 billion they hand back to Wall Street speculators. That was Howie Hawkins 4 years ago, and I trust he's still as strong on this issue as he was then. And for this audience, that's the ball game right there. So welcome, Howie.
It's good to be here.
So I hope you heard me. I just went through your track record on the stock transfer tax, and maybe you fill that in. And
I heard it, and it's not just Andrew Cuomo that's been hiding it from the public. He tried to eliminate it. I mean, we still collect that tax. We just rebate it right back to the stock traders. It's pennies per share per trade. It's not really a burden on them, but it does add up, especially with this computerized high-frequency trading. So it's about 10% of the state budget. That's how significant it is. And it was actually when Mario Cuomo was lieutenant governor and then became governor, Andrew Cuomo's father, is when they stopped collecting the tax. And that began back in the 80s. So in 1980, the richest 1% got 10% of all income in New York State. Today, they get over 30%. So their share has tripled. But the top tax bracket has been cut in half, and the stock transfer tax has been eliminated. And then they say we don't have enough money for our schools, which is absurd. There's more money than we had back in the 70s.
So maybe, Howie, if you could just sum up, $16 billion at one point, anyway, recently, that was repaid to Wall Street. I guess the blackmail is if you don't make us exempt from taxation, we'll go to New Jersey or Connecticut, which I don't think they can do. But give us some idea of what has been cut to make possible this tremendous bonanza for Wall Street speculators and